Hello out there, faithful podcast listeners. Welcome. This is episode 275 of Convincing Idiots. We are back from our holiday break and we've got oh so much to share with you, such as grocery prices from 1997. You may be encouraged or perhaps shocked and appalled to hear of some pricing on that. We're also going to be discussing the McRib and what it's made out of? Question mark? More on that. And we, of course, will be making alcohol great again here on Convincing Idiots. We're going to be discussing some of the new guidelines given to you by your government on alcohol. And lastly, in our final segment, we are going to be discussing our personal collective top five. So our class of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees. We will each be bringing to the table three of our own submissions, and we're going to discuss and collectively put our heads together and pick our Convincing Idiots official top five bands that should be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that currently are not. So I'm not going to hold you up anymore. It's a brand new year. It's a brand new episode. Convincing Idiots 275. Without further ado, let's start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again.
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, hey, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian Genix.
And I am Millennial Nick. And we are Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get to together here about monthly now to discuss all things nerd and pop culture. And so if you enjoy nerd and pop culture and you enjoy the three of us, or even just pop culture, maybe we'll start slow.
Or even
feel
two
free.
of us.
Yeah, just any part of. So let's not focus on us. Let's focus on you. What you
That's
do,
true.
you need to go to find us on all of our social media accounts. Why? Because it helps us out. We enjoy the, engaging with people who may potentially be listening to this podcast. So we would like to interact with you on social media. So go to our link tree. Go to Google, type in Convincing Idiots, link tree, LINKTREE. And there, conveniently placed before you, will be links to all of our social media accounts. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review us on any platforms, anything like that. You can also find more about us on our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So shoot on over there. The holiday season is just behind us. And, maybe you got a lot of cool stuff for Christmas. I know we all did. But you also maybe there were some things on your wish list you didn't get, like some Convincing Idiots merchandise. Well, don't worry. We got you covered because we have a TeePublic store, and there is a link to that on our link tree as well. So go over there. Maybe get yourself some Convincing Idiots merch. Help out the show. We are back. We are better. Probably we're about the same as before, but we are back. We are back. So another year ringing in with Convincing Idiots. Cheers, boys! And what are we having to drink to ring in 2026? Dean, what you drinking?
I have to remember. It is.
Oh, you
trying to
just
get
look at
this
the
out of-
can. You don't have to
No,
remember
I had the
anything.
cozy. I had the cozy
Oh.
on it.
Well, that comes
It-
off.
I know that's what I'm saying.
Other stuff comes
Wiseacre
off too.
Brewery. Gotta get up to get down. Coffee
Ah.
milk stout from Wiseacre Brewing Company in Newport, Tennessee.
Alrighty.
Okay. I have a good old Sam Adams Winter Lager, very solid winter beer, excellent.
Hell
Just
yeah.
bought a 6 on its own. Very good stuff.
There you go. I'm having Big Bad Baptist from Epic Brewing. It is a chocolate banana stout and quite delicious.
Ooh.
Really, really enjoying that. Robin got it was it for trying to think what passed, maybe Sweetest Day or something, or I don't know. Sometimes she just surprises me with fun craft beers that she would like to see that I would like,
that's
and
very
I
nice
enjoy
of her.
that,
That's
and I
true
enjoy her, and I
love.
enjoy this. Yeah, so very good. Epic Brewing, where are they at? I don't even know. I've heard of them before. Where are they? Oh, I was not prepared. Salt Lake City, Utah. There you go.
Ah.
There you go.
We're huge in Utah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, we're big. The Mormons love us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. For being
Yep.
a dry state, they sure do know how to make it's a whiskey barrel aged banana chocolate stout. I'll be goddamn.
Hmm.
It's quite good. Good flavor. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, we've been out for a few weeks here, guys. Just give me one thing in idiot recommendations that you recommend. Again, something you watched, something you read, something you listened to, whatever. Nick, when we start with you, give me one
Yeah.
thing.
I feel like we all watched, and I feel like the whole world watched something specifically. So I'm going to skip that one. Plus, it's too soon. We're not going to do any spoilers or anything like that, or at least I'm
Sure.
going to. But aside from that, one giant TV show coming to a conclusion, I watched Being Eddie, the Eddie Murphy documentary
Oh
on,
yeah. Okay.
what is it? I don't even remember what it
Netflix.
was on. It was Netflix. Yeah, it was Netflix. Really enjoyed that. Like really good. Just I don't know that you learn a whole ton. I mean, maybe a little bit about his Eddie Murphy's his background and growing up and stuff. But I did like that you kind of get a behind the scenes look at Eddie Murphy, and it's obviously it's interviewing him a lot and just kind of going back over his career, and you really forget, like, I mean, when I grew up with Eddie Murphy, I mean, I was born in '88, so I went back later and saw like him on SNL, and to this day, Delirious is hands down my favorite stand-up comedy special ever. It's number one for me. It's iconic and classic. Raw is up there as well, but Delirious was always my favorite. But I had to go back and find out about that stuff later. So I'm more from when he was starring in movies and stuff like that. You just forget how many generations kind of he's and
Oh
and
yeah.
I wouldn't even say different iterations per se, but yeah, just the different eras of Eddie Murphy. So and I thought because sometimes Eddie Murphy gets or at least I've heard in the past, like things about him maybe being, kind of difficult or a prima donna or, difficult to deal with sometimes or whatever. But I
We
don't
hear
know.
that about Brian too. So.
Yeah. He, I don't know. I mean, also, who knows? I mean, I'm sure he had a lot to do with the making of it, but he definitely comes across very humble, very grounded, and like just a real down to earth guy. And seems like he's kind of kept his head on for the most part through the years. So, but yeah, I really enjoyed that and would very much recommend it. So, like we talked about before, I like documentaries and stuff like that. So, if it's anybody I'm familiar with, or even sometimes not, but yeah, the Being Eddie on Netflix was real good.
Yeah, quite the career. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm certainly for Generation X. He was just iconic. Delirious, Nick, like you said.
Yeah.
I must have listened to that special between cassette tape and on cable. I mean, I don't even know how I could probably if I could watch it now and probably give a pretty good word for word on some of his bits even to this
Yeah.
day. It's on that
Yeah.
thing. Some of the bits don't hold up these days, of course, what he was making fun of back then. But that was
Sure.
back then. I mean, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, that was early '80s.
Yep.
Mid '80s. When that came out. So, huge movie star in the '80s, huge.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
You
what they
know?
were talking. They talk about that about just how there really wasn't. It's almost there wasn't a ton of like black men at that time that were the leads.
Yeah.
Just like plenty of black men
Right.
were starring in films and were like a side character or second to the lead, but he was kind of one of the first ones, you know, certainly in comedy to be like, you know, he's driving here. This is Eddie Murphy is the star, you know, here. And yeah, he talked that, you know, certainly how descriptive, you know, he was, and like that people were talking about in his stand-up. So like, you know, he was such a great storyteller. Like he made you feel like you know, he painted such a picture, made you feel like you were there and stuff. And especially I always my favorite parts of Eddie's stand-up are like when he's talking about his family and it does an impression of his dad. His dad's always kind of like, you know, drunk. Right? He said actually in there that he was always just doing his impression of his dad because his dad drank, and because when his dad was watching those, and he was like, "Is that really what I sound like?" And so he stopped drinking. Like his dad stopped drinking because
Wow.
of Eddie's impression of him, which was kind of funny.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Dean, what about you?
I am in the middle of watching a couple episodes into the American Revolution, the documentary by Ken Burns that just dropped, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago. But yeah, if you love Ken Burns documentaries, you love documentaries in general, Ken Burns is second to none. And the American Revolution is right up there so far with baseball, the one he did at baseball, Civil War, jazz, you know, all of those great ones that Ken Burns does. And so, yeah, the American Revolution, if you enjoy history, if you enjoy Ken Burns documentaries, this is definitely one to watch.
Have you got to President Garfield Cleveland yet?
No. Different time period. Different. Yeah. We're a little earlier than that with the American Revolution. You actually could probably benefit at this point from watching such things.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, learn something.
Yeah.
Okay. The President Garfield was not in that time period.
I could do a Garfield Cleveland like whole doc. I think like just being Garfield Cleveland, like an Eddie Murphy Garfield Cleveland.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there's a lot of things wrong with that the statement there.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're a little too woke on Dean's side of things. He was not a Garfield Cleveland fan. You know, politics get in the way. I just mean to learn about the man, Dean. Yeah, just want to learn about him.
No, you're combining two different presidents. One is James A. Garfield, and the other is Grover Cleveland. You've combined two presidents.
Maybe you should watch some history, you know, and learn yourself something.
James A. Garfield and Grover Cleveland were two different people, two differerent presidents.
No, dude, no. Grover was a Sesame Street character, bro. You're so far out of line on this.
That's true.
You have
also,
no idea.
Yep,
that's true. Also, no, that's not. No, that's not exactly. All right.
Well, you have your facts, and we'll have our real ones, and we'll just kind of go on.
Boy. Okay. All right. Well, I guess there's no arguing that.
There you go. That's how I see things play out all the time.
First convincing of the year.
That's right. You've convinced me to give up.
Yep, I like it.
Brian, what are you watching?
I watched the new Knives Out movie, Wake Up Dead Man, sometime around Christmas time. Long movie, about 2.5 hours.
Sure.
Entertaining. Again, I just love Daniel Craig in that role. Very good mystery. Josh Brolin's in this. Just great cast, great writing. Again, a little long. Could have been a little bit shorter, but everything was set up nicely, and just a very fun murder mystery movie. So if you like that sort of thing, check that out on Netflix. I've heard it's kind of dropped off the streaming, which makes sense past the holidays, that type of thing. But I still think it's worth a watch. Allie and I watched it and found it very entertaining.
I love those series of movies. Yeah, that character, I can't remember his name, but Daniel Craig's that character is fantastic, and I'm so happy that he does such a shitty accent, whatever weird New Orleans type accent that is. It's fantastic. Like I remember the first movie watching it going, what the fuck is this? And then within like 5 minutes you're like, no, this is awesome. Like he shouldn't portray anything else but this character. It's fucking amazing. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, he's another one. Him, Pierce Brosnan, and Sean Connery certainly proving that they didn't wound up getting typecast into James Bond. That he's able to still go on and have a good career and other interesting roles. And some people don't even know that he was James Bond, probably, or don't even really care. You see him in this, and he's a good character and good stuff.
How many Bond movies did he do? 3?
No, I want to say at least 4. I think. Nick.
Really? Okay.
4 or 5. Yeah, he did quite a few. Yeah, all good ones. We'll make those definitely work those in the rotation Bond Bourbon Nights soon.
Especially
all right,
put one on the weekend.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll move it around. Well, I move it anyways. We'll get into it on camera, but anyway, we'll
Brian apologizes
we'll do
for
it soon.
having a birthday on a Monday. Sorry.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just don't let it happen again. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
At least not for the next 7 years.
We'll try. All right. So a few pop culture headlines here, guys. Let's see here. Let's start with some grocery stuff here. So,
I love grocery stuff.
Big talk about certainly affordability is a key word out there now in the political arena. We're not here to talk about politics, but there's a news story out here going viral. A woman was having a girls' night at her sister-in-law's house, and he looked in a baby book that her mother-in-law recently passed down, and there was something in there dated 1997, and they found a grocery receipt with a pretty extensive amount of groceries. It had 122 everyday necessities on it: vegetables, fruit, baby diapers for twin baby girls. $155 was the total.
Wow.
And
you say there was 122 items on there?
122 items. The total bill, $155. So some things in particular, in 1997, on the receipt, Little Debbie brownies were $1.09.
Sure.
It's $5.75 today. A
For
bag of coffee. Yep.
God dang.
A bag of coffee went from $2.47 to $9.43, and a package of diapers, $12.99 to $31.47. So some people say, yeah, but people are making more money now too. Well, minimum wage back then was $4.75, and it's now at $7.25. So that they say in this, whatever their analysis, to keep pace with the increase on the receipt, you would have to be making a minimum of $15.30 an hour. So it's just a lot of online conversation about groceries being too high and wages not catching up, blah 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 blah. So, what do you think about the rise in groceries? Any thoughts on the changes, or is it just like there's definitely increases, but it's not as bad as maybe some people are portraying it? So, Dean, what do you think?
I love it. I'm a huge fan of paying more at the grocery store. I don't like having like extra money to live or to like go to the doctors and stupid shit like that. I prefer.
What more living do you need than to go to the grocery store?
Right. I prefer to. I guess you can call it crying in my car, but it could be really for a myriad of things, not just groceries. But I really enjoy wasting my money on and just trying to survive. Huge fan. Huge.
Is it a waste of your money if you're succeeding in doing it? I mean, you are here talking to us tonight.
That's true.
That is true.
I mean, I've got podcast money, baby. Fuck everybody else.
I made 13 cents over the last 5 years. I'm doing great.
I mean, did you
Take
guys
that,
make 13
inflation.
cents off podcast? No, it's bullshit. It is fucking criminal that the amount of the groceries or anything, not even just groceries, cars, housing, everything, clothing has gone up so much, and yet everybody is paid such a a shit wage in comparison. You know, I guess that's why they call it inflation, I guess. But yeah, it's bullshit. We are being I don't want to sound cliche and say we're being held down, but it fucking feels like it sometimes, right?
Us white dudes always are, Dean. Always, always, always. Especially the straight ones like the three of us. It's the worst.
Well, two of us are.
And we'll let the listener decide which one.
You guys figure it out.
Meanie, mine. No.
Throw a stone. No, you know what I mean. I'm not just talking cultural or hell, it's beyond cultural at this point. It's beyond and yes, there are different cultures that do have it harder. I do understand that, and
we're getting to a point where they might not.
Either way, we are all feeling the fucking burn, the tightening of life, and we just wait. We sit here and we give our money, what little we have, to buy what little we need, until we die. Whatever.
All right.
Rah rah!
Happy New Year,
But
everybody.
2026 is going to be great.
Yep. Nick, any other thoughts? I mean, I'm not sure. I know we all are against the rise of cost, but just any thoughts in general here?
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off of that, obviously, my sentiments would be similar. It's crazy, but like you said, yes, things have always gone up across time. Things have always increased, and that's how it goes. But like you said, Brian, with that the stat man, Brian Fisher, making his comeback here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that the raise in cost of in increase, or I'm sorry, the increase in what people are making is quite comparable to some of the percentages you're seeing, and things going up, right? So, do you guys hear a beeping when I get text messages?
Nope.
No. Is that just on my end? Cool. Glad I addressed it right now. Okay. But anyway, yeah, but it's not quite. I wouldn't say it's quite the same. It's
hold on. You got other friends? It's bullshit.
No, Robin's texting me from upstairs.
Oh, okay, good.
Keep
she
it
needs
down.
loving, and she doesn't want to wait. You know how it is.
How's my minor business?
Can you take a 90-second break?
We'll stop for segment number 2 for 5 minutes. I'll be up and we'll be good. No. But no, I don't think it's quite the same, right? It's like in most years, I would say, like at my job, right, we get a annual increase, and typically, it's something standard across the board. It's what they maybe would call, a lot of jobs would call, a cost of living increase. And then, like, at the end of the year, we get an increase, or I'm sorry, not always an increase, and sometimes it's not, but usually there's an increase at the end of the year for insurance. And it's like, you're getting more money here for your cost of living, but in a couple months, this is your insurance is going up higher than per month than what your increase is giving you. So it's like, yes, okay, you are paying more for insurance, but you're making more. But am I paying more for insurance than what I was just given? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's that kind of where it's slowly over time being the gap widens, right? So I would just say it's kind of like that. I mean, I'm sure yes, diapers didn't go from $12.99 to $32.99 like immediately. You know what I mean? That these are increases over decades to where your cost of living is not what you're making is not reflecting what you did in comparison to, say, a product like diapers or whatever, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, it slowly gets a little further and further and further out of control, and until you just see, like, people who were doing fine or living a little differently now, maybe having a little more trouble doing the things they used to do, eating out as much as they used to. And we see it, we talk about it in other side segments. Are people going to the movies as much as before? Are people traveling as much as before? This is down, that's down. Well, that's all, a direct reflection of this conversation.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's
right. Yeah, Brian, when you were a child and you could afford like a mansion when you were 16, like getting out on your own, like, what was that like?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it
you
was
know,
the
it's
Industrial Revolution, so.
that's right. That's right. Used to have the whole underground cave.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty
President
cool.
Garfield Cleveland was steering us right.
You used to have to, you used to have to push a statue of a bust, of President Garfield Cleveland, and move it aside,
Yep.
and it was like a
Yep.
pole.
Yep.
The bookcase would open. There was a pole there, taking you down in the cave. It's pretty cool.
Now he has a
Pretty cool.
Now he has a pole where he has to hold on to it to take a shower.
Yeah. Times definitely change. Yeah, I don't know if it's ever going to really catch up. I mean, it's a big problem. I mean, what I do appreciate here is that when woman saw this, and this, I guess, there's so many negative things about social media. This is certainly one positive thing. Is she put this out there, and it's created discussion, right? So I do like that. It creates awareness. It creates discussion. If nothing else, it gives people a chance to vent a little bit and talk about their own issues and concerns and everything like that. Does it change a whole bunch? I don't know, but it certainly continues to showcase that people are concerned about this topic, and it will likely impact upcoming elections. I mean, it just whether it results in any change or not. I mean, it is something that these politicians are forced to pay attention to,
Sure.
and not risk
openly
losing
lie
their
about.
jobs if they have to. Well, they have to come up with something. That's gonna be a big topic in the next election. Certainly, is the whole.
Certain politicians tell you that during Christmas you just don't buy your kids that much more for Christmas and whatnot.
Yeah, don't buy as many dolls.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you can listen to them, or you can listen to me and go to Blake Insurance.
There it is. They're saving.
I hear it's a way to save money.
Because Blake Insurance is going to save you some money. I tell you, this guy, this Aaron Blake, let me tell you about him. The Blake Insurance Group is an independent agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio, offering personal care and support for all of your insurance needs. If you need auto, home, business, or even life insurance, give Aaron a call. He's going to treat you with the honesty and respect that you deserve. Give him a call at 234-571-5359, or find him on the web, the webisodes, the interwebs at blakeinsurancellc.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell him that you appreciate him holding society down by helping us with cheaper insurance.
That's right. That's right.
You appreciate him holding society down? Is that what you said?
No, I guess
lifting it up. We'll work on the T-shirt.
Blake Insurance holding society down. 2012.
No, Blake Insurance is lifting you up, but Aaron himself is trying to hold society down.
Hey, how much to fix that embroidery?
So why is
that embroidery? How much to fix that? Fuck it. Just put it out there.
There goes my 13 cents. God damn. There it is. See? And we're full circle. You make 13 cents, but then you got to pay for the rebranding of Blake Insurance. So as soon as you get a little money, it's gone. There you go.
Yep.
If we don't have a T-shirt of Aaron Blake like with his boot on society somehow.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Sure.
That's the best endorsement ever.
Holding society down with good insurance prices.
Yeah. Dean just launched a political ad against Blake Insurance. Aaron Blake has been holding society down.
He really is a swell, guys. Everybody.
His prices are criminally low.
He will save you money. He can save you money. Give him a call.
He could, but he won't. Aaron Blake. This ad endorsed by Dean Harvey.
That's right. Well, one way you can make money, guys, perhaps, is to sue McDonald's for some ridiculous lawsuit here. So somebody here, I don't know if it's a group or an individual, I can't seem to find it here, but 4 plaintiffs, there it is. 4 plaintiffs. I'm sure these folks are the picture of health, I would have to imagine, are suing McDonald's, claiming that McDonald's has deceived customers about the McRib sandwich, claiming that there actually is no rib meat in the McRib, that it's a false advertising, etc. It's a deliberate sleight of hand, is what they're saying.
McDonald's, oops, all pig buttholes. The McRib, oops, all pig buttholes edition.
McDonald's claims it is 100% pork sourced from farmers and suppliers across the U.S., but they also don't say, yes, it is or is not rib meat. Nick, you're a McRib fan. I know you buy one every year. You don't necessarily, love the taste of it necessarily, but do you have any thought? That's right. Do you have any thoughts that you're buying a rib meat sandwich, or you just like the taste of the sandwich? Or are you?
Well,
what are your thoughts on this?
I can tell you, as a fan of the McRib experience, I have never bitten into one of those and thought it was actually rib meat. I wasn't saying it definitely wasn't, but it's certain. It's not. If it's trying to pull the wool over people's eyes with its texture and its taste and the way it looks, and it's not doing a good job. I've never thought this must be actual rib meat. I mean, much in the way that when I bite into a burger, I'm like, this is supposed to be beef, but I don't. It's McDonald's. You know what I mean? It's never made me critically ill that I know of for anything, but it's McDonald's. I think there's a bit of an understanding, right, of what it is. You're paying for cheap shit fast food. It's not good for you. They can put lettuce on chicken wraps and wrap them in tortillas all they want, but it's not good for you. None of it's good for you. So I'm not going to McDonald's because of the quality, I guess, is what I'm saying. Which is a sad thing to say out loud. That, like, you're openly going to pay for food that you're like, I'm okay that it sucks. Like, and here's money. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I have in my own mind kind of a perception of what McDonald's is. And when you were starting this, I was already, I'm like, yeah, it's not even having heard this story prior. I'm like, yeah, it's something about how the McRib is not like real meat, maybe even. It's like grown in a lab. And it's weird to me, like they put it in, like the last time I had a McRib, I think they mash whatever the mystery meat is into a mold that is made to look like a rack of ribs, like with bone and everything. It's got texture to it. Like it's supposed to look like almost like when you eat like a gummy bear and it's molded to look like a bear, and you're like, oh, it's not made of real bear. No, it's fucking gummy. It's the same. It's like it could be gummy.
You know how disappointed I was when I found out it had zero bear in those.
Yeah. Well, the texture of a McRib actually is not dissimilar to a gummy bear. You could very easily take a giant gummy and smother it in barbecue sauce and slap a couple pickles on there, and I'd be like, yeah, that's a McRib. So
I think you're onto something, actually.
Yeah. Would it be nice if it was real pork or real rib, or maybe, if they were something like that? Yeah, I'd prefer that, but
no.
I don't think I've never thought it really was. I've never really thought too deeply into it, but that's never really been part of the conversation in my head.
First of all, Nick, if they did that, it would lose whatever fucking amazing flavor that we enjoy about the McRib. It wouldn't be the McRib. It would be something else. It would have a different taste, a different texture. We have grown to know and love this this sandwich, and you can call it meat or whatever you want to call it. This sandwich, we've grown to love it and enjoy it. So no, fuck, I don't want it to have pork. Whatever you're doing, just continue to put the slop in the mold and give it to me. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I do have I did pull up here the transcript from the court hearings, and just before the judge dismissed it, his words were, "No shit, stupid."
Yeah.
Maybe not from the exact transcript, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's gonna go.
Oink oink, shut up.
Did you get McDonald's? Yeah. Did you die? No. Fucking get out of court.
Sounds like a pretty fucking good day to me. It's better than most. Fucking eat the fucking McRib.
There's no way he wins they win a dime out of this. There's no way.
No.
Because I think that very easy you could easily research what any McDonald's sandwich contains, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, we all really choose not to do so, as we shouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, because if you did look up half the shit, hell, not even McDonald's. If you looked up half the ingredients in the foods that we stuff in our fat heads, we definitely wouldn't eat it. Or maybe we would. We just wouldn't care. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what side I've always been on.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, some interesting news from the world of the U.S. Nutritional Value Guidelines.
Okay.
Okay.
Can't wait to hear
Sounds like a
this.
bunch of bullshit for me already.
It just gets more and more peculiar and interesting what that department and area is just putting out there. So I think it was announced even today. The U.S. loosens alcohol guidance, my friends. Now maybe that's okay for us,
So we might be
but
able to get on board
not
with
for
this
some
one.
people. Yeah.
I'm all right with it.
So including some commentary, alcohol is a social lubricant. Just don't have it for breakfast. So the Trump
Fuck you.
administration's new
I ain't gonna have
guidelines.
the government tell me what to do. Motherfuckers.
Okay.
That's it.
Riddle
I'm
me
voting
this.
for
What if
somebody
it's
else.
St. Patrick's Day?
Right?
Well, enjoy what you want. That's kind of
I
what it
had a
is.
Foundry's breakfast out the other morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you
It
supposed
said
to
breakfast
do?
on it.
Drink that at lunchtime? It's a breakfast
No.
stout. It's made
No,
for breakfast.
See?
Exactly.
See?
It's really probably illegal to drink a breakfast stout
Mhm.
anytime before 11.
And that's a
Anything that has the
founders,
word
like
breakfast
founders of the
in it.
nation, like Garfield
Yeah.
Cleveland. Yeah.
Yes,
Like
that's right.
Garfield Cleveland. That's right.
That's right. Has the word breakfast in it, you're allowed to have it in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Trump administration's
I
new
mean, having
guidelines.
that breakfast heroin.
The new administration, they got no longer specify clear limits on alcohol consumption. So Dr. Oz recently said he's fine with Americans drinking alcohol in moderation, claiming that it lets people, quote, bond and socialize, which I guess that's true. This is on Wednesday.
I would
So
never have
just
gotten laid
yesterday.
if it wasn't for alcohol.
Well, sure.
Still might not.
And not even you drinking it.
Talking, yeah,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely has to be somebody else drinking it.
So the guidelines include changes to alcohol recommendations no longer specifying appropriate limits for men and women. They also no longer include a warning that even in moderation, drinking can increase the risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, and death. So they broadly state that adults should, quote, consume less alcohol for better overall health and abstain if pregnant, using certain medications, or experiencing addiction, along with those who have a family history of addiction. We also recommend, when listening to mediocre podcasts, to increase your alcohol consumption.
That's right.
That's our
If we don't
recommendation.
have on in our fucking shirt on our shirts here soon, make alcohol great again. We've done something
I
wrong.
like it. I like it. We should do that. So that's it. It's just an interesting take on something that, I mean, let's face it. I mean, alcohol is not good for you. We all drink socially, at least. It's not like we have a major issue, I don't
And
think, with
privately
it.
when dealing with internal struggles.
That's right. That is true.
But in the car while crying outside the grocery store.
Right. So what do you think of making recommendations of alcohol usage very lax? Nick, what do you think? Is it common sense, or should people get some type of clear guidelines from the government?
I don't know. Alcohol's not new. I suppose we're looking at it through our own eyes. So the fact that there's an official statement on what alcohol is to people is kind of silly in and of itself to me. But I mean, I guess there's not a lot in what was said that is totally wrong. It is a social lubricant. I mean, it makes people loosen up and feel a little more comfortable sometimes. Some people, I guess that doesn't affect everyone that way, but commonly that is true. They do state that no, it's not healthy for you. Obviously, if you are aiming to be in peak physical, mental, like whatever health, like No, yeah, like drinking is not part of the equation. No doctor's recommending alcohol to you for anything. It's not like medicinal alcohol is not a thing. There's no health benefits.
Take 2
But
PBRs and call me in the morning.
yeah. I mean, I will say actually, although sometimes it should. Like, let's say you have a really bad hangover and you can't handle it for some reason, and you go to the doctor. The doctor's like, have a couple PBRs. Like literally, you will feel better.
Yeah,
Here
right
the
back
bug,
here in the
bitch.
fridge.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is odd to like. I feel like it is common sense. Like it's not new. There's a lot of things that seem like they should be common sense, and they aren't always. So, but I mean, like, yeah, like maybe I guess it's nice to have that. Any type of encouragement to alcohol is probably just not a good idea. And I say that as someone who dearly loves alcohol and has spent many years with it by my side. I'm going to call it unproblematically, but you can decide that for yourself. But yeah, no, I don't. It's not good for you. That's steering people away from it across the board is typically a good idea.
Okay, but still, I mean, the reason you have guidelines and the reason you have government intervention, if you want to call it, is because there are stupid people out there that don't know the McRib doesn't have pork in it.
How is he supposed to cope with that?
Well, no,
Alcohol.
but I'm saying what I'm saying. My point is people are dumb.
Yeah, right.
As much as we like to think that that people can govern themselves and people can make the right decisions, it's common sense. I don't think sense is as common as we think it is.
Yeah.
And for that is the reason why you have to hold the public's hand when it comes to things that are going to hurt them, because people will stick their fucking fingers in a light socket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People are dumb, Brian. People are dumb.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know if the average person looks to the government for any type of guidelines like that, but some people do. I think it may have the opposite effect where Dr. Oz says it's okay. I know him on television.
Right.
I know him as part of this particular political affiliate. So, maybe it is okay to drink a little bit more. I don't know. It seems unreal or
People
unrealistic.
that voted for Dr. Oz are probably drinking heavily anyways.
Well, that could be very true. Yeah, I mean, he's catering to his base.
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah,
true.
Which is always good as you're giving medical advice. So for driving sports.
Well, first of all, he's not a real goddamn doctor. He's not a real goddamn doctor anymore. So
yeah, it's just this one. I don't get.
Away.
I don't get why change it. I mean, that's what's bewildering to me. Is it why do you feel a need to come in on this one?
Yeah.
Look at other stuff.
Well, what did
they had to loosen the guidelines so Pete Hegseth wouldn't get fired immediately.
I suppose. I don't know. Like it's bad for you. We could come back next and say, you know what, occasional cigarettes, it's all right. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay.
Did they consult
Just do it
Dr.
socially.
Doolittle?
I don't know.
They might as well.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, good stuff. We are going to take a break here, and we're going to come back with our first main topic of the new year. We're going to try a bit of a different format here on our discussion topic, see how it goes. So bear with us. Well, we've been trying that for a long time, 274 episodes. And yeah, it's a mild success.
Yeah.
Mild success.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So we will explain what we're going to do right after this. You know what? Then listen to Dr. Oz. Have a drink. Have another drink. Come back. Join us.
Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell 2 enemies.
Four, 3.
What is going on? Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. I am Millennial Nick, alongside Gen X Brian and the Zennial Dean. This is our main segment of Convincing Idiots. This is our first episode of 2026. And recently, we've just, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has made their inductions at the end of last year and inducted some great artists, some that had been snubbed for quite a while and had been waiting to hear their name called. Fans have been clamoring for them to get in, so we thought, there's many famous Rock Hall snubs or bands that a lot of people seem to love and think deserve to be in or should have been put in there by now that have not. So we're going to come up, gentlemen, tonight with our definitive Convincing Idiots selection of 5. So this is a collective selection of 5 bands that we as a podcast are choosing that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that currently are not. And to do so, we have each brought 3 of our own submissions to the table, and we're just going to talk about it. So let's start with Brian. Brian, what 3 bands have you chosen to submit?
We do all 3 or one at a time?
Do all 3.
Okay.
Just
do
say
all 3. Okay.
Sam.
I have.
You make the rules. I don't know.
That's fine. I'll just all 3 is fine with me. Start with the band on my shirt. If you're watching a video, Iron Maiden, the band that should be in. My next nomination, Devo.
They're not in.
They're not in. Been nominated 3 times.
Yeah,
Not in.
It's insane.
Okay.
As Iron Maiden's been nominated, I think 3 times as well. And Motorhead.
I saw that too.
Nominated one time previously. Those are my 3 that I believe should be in.
Okay. Maiden,
Dean, who do you got?
Motorhead,
Maiden,
Dio.
Motorhead, and Devo.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, I said Dio. Yeah.
This was so much harder than I actually thought it was going to be. I looked up the list is long, obviously.
And that's just the ones that they're only giving you in a lot of those. Like I looked up a list of like 135, and it's just like people who commonly want that's not everybody. There might be a band that you love and is maybe a little more obscure, and you're like, they must be in, and they're probably not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Aiden's Valentine, not in. It's travesty. All right.
Well, one of them really fell off when he tried to hold the society down with insurance. So that kind of didn't look good on him over time. Didn't age well.
Canceled. All right. So my 3 here. Obviously, you guys know my first and my number 1, Weird Al Yankovic. Society-wise, music-wise, he just definitely should be in. Me and Brian are first one we're agreeing on. Motorhead is my next pick. It's criminal that they're not in. And then this one, there were so many different bands, different artists from different walks of rock and roll. But I saw this one and it really hit me weird that Huey Lewis and the News isn't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I know you're both scoffing at it, but I mean, this isn't the argument part. This isn't our convincing part. But Huey Lewis is in the News. I know because I thought you guys made a face, and I'm like, whoa,
I like them.
Whoa. All right, here we go. Nikolai.
All right. So my 3, much like Brian here, I have to ask because we're talking about video here. Dean, you're wearing a Kenny Rogers shirt. Is he in the Hockey Hall of Fame? Surprisingly, yeah.
Okay.
Is he in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
He's not. He is in the Country Music Hall of Fame. He was in a rock band in the 60s.
That doesn't matter, though.
It doesn't matter.
The genre. I mean, Outkast just went. There's plenty of rap and country and
That's
blues
true.
and jazz.
That's true.
The rock, it's really the Music Hall of Fame, but they call it the Rock Hall.
I did want to put him on my list, but there were so many different artists that deserve it. I mean, like I said, it's an extensive list, and it's the only music shirt that I own. So.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
What?
Really? Okay. How can that be?
Yeah, I don't own a band shirt or music shirt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's next week's is top band shirts Dean should have that does not. Okay.
All right.
So anyway,
and the winner I have to buy. I have to actually get a shirt. I like this.
There you go. Okay. So yeah, same deal. Alice in Chains, not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. So definitely Alice in Chains is on my list. I also have Iron Maiden, Brian. That's when this topic was discussed, they are the first one that came to my mind. It floors me every time that I realize that they're not. And third up, because of what they did for a generation and a genre, I have Pantera. Also currently not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So, all right, we got I had Alice in Chains, Iron Maiden, Pantera. Brian had Iron Maiden, Devo, and Motorhead,
Yep.
and Dean with Motorhead, Weird Al, and Huey Lewis and the News. So
no unanimous.
None unanimous.
No unanimous.
I'm willing to push hard for Iron Maiden if there's any pushback.
All right, let's hear it.
That is the definitive band that I just can't. It more than any band I've ever seen on any of these lists. I can't believe Iron Maiden's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They are so in metal music. First of all, they transcend what they were like, big in the '80s and stuff like that. They transcend what you think of when you hear '80s metal, as far as their musicianship and the technical ability of the band. Bruce Dickinson's voice, it's just they're insane. I love Iron Maiden, and I think in metal circles there's always the big four, right, that people talk about. It's like Metallica, Megadeth,
Anthrax,
Slayer. And Slayer. Okay. Also not in the Rock Hall. Just an honorable mention.
Another one.
I didn't put them on personally, but that's insane also. Anyway, to me, my big four in metal includes Iron Maiden. And some other different bands, but that's not why we're here. Iron Maiden is a pillar of heavy music, and what metal of that era sounds like to me. It sounds like Iron Maiden. It's fast, crazy guitar solos, crazy work on the guitars, and a great vocal range. And Iron Maiden has been doing this for so long. Brian, you'd know better than I. How many studio albums has Iron Maiden put out?
I actually have a couple
some?
stats. No, so 41 albums. Now, some are live and some are EPs.
I'm like, there's no way that can be.
But 2,500 live shows.
Mm-hmm.
They have sold over 130 million albums worldwide. 20 million alone was Number of the Beast, which almost every metal fan has a copy of that record, from years ago.
I didn't bring that up, but the singles, I mean, the commercial success of Iron Maiden for a band of that genre, still to this day on rock stations. I mean, you're going to hear those songs. You're going to hear Iron Maiden songs.
Their last three albums, Nick, even and the last one was in 2021. All went number one.
Yeah.
So they continue to put out, and those are good albums. If you haven't heard them, go back and listen to the newest albums. Still, like you said, that I'm fighting for them too. But just like you said, that's a band I didn't appreciate as much as a kid. As a kid, I was more like the Eddie thing was cool, their mascot, and some of the albums were cool. Not till I got a little older and really start to listen and appreciate like you say, the musical talent of those guys. And all those guys were with that band for years and years and years. The drummer just recently retired from touring. And again, you mentioned the Bruce Dickinson, Steve Harris, the bass player, is one of the greatest rock bass players that has lived or will ever live, with his talent as well. Pay attention to all the riffs in several Iron Maiden songs. A lot of guys just simply just can't do it. They're not that good, That
was another thing you brought up there real quick too, and I know it's not, I mean, but it's the whole package. There's a mixture of commercial success, there's the music, there's how long they've been at this, the success, and also the art of it. And I think Iron Maiden it's cool to me that they have a mascot. Like Eddie is featured on the cover of all their albums, and it's just a different art piece of Eddie. And and it's synonymous. You see that character, and you absolutely unmistakably know it's Iron Maiden. The band has a mascot.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Not many of you could almost say name a heavy metal mascot that you relate to heavy metal. I would have to venture to guess 8 out of 10 people would say, "Oh, that Iron Maiden dude or Eddie dude,
Yeah.
that he alone is a representation of just metal."
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so I don't know. Like I said, it's another one. I don't get it. And every year that they pass them by, it seems like they just have a bunch of idiots on the panel
Right.
that don't understand metal music. It's absolutely ridiculous, insane. So that's 2 good pitches there for Iron Maiden, I think,
Yep.
Nick. So,
Okay. Let's
Dean,
move
are we
on.
winning the over?
Another
Go
band.
ahead,
Oh
please,
yeah,
Nick.
go ahead. Yeah.
Go
Feedback,
ahead.
Dean.
You guys aren't wrong. I would have no problem putting Iron Maiden on this list. Everything you guys said is true. Given that I'm not, I'm not the biggest like metalhead, per se.
You don't say Mr. Kenny Rogers shirt?
Again, I'm not I'm not a cowboy hat wearing country. I'm not a country music fan.
Yeah, no,
but I have definitely a bunch of different tastes. But Iron Maiden, it's never been my go-to. But I respect and love that sort of music. And if you're everything you said from the history to the music to the charts and the albums, I would have no problem having them on my list. I can't argue with this one.
All right. Okay. Well, another band that had 2 submissions was Motorhead. So you're not going to get really any pushback from me on Motorhead either, because even though they weren't on my list, that's another just out for what they've done. But I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk a little more about your love for Motorhead, but I mean, for me, the thing that I appreciate most about Motorhead is I feel like they are, and I've started listening to them. I mean, I've always been familiar with their music, and Lemmy's voice is pretty unmistakable. You certainly know a Motorhead song when you hear one. But I think I don't know if it was like last year, a couple years ago, we had a discussion about Motorhead, and Brian brought him up about something, and I was like, yeah, I've always liked them. I need to listen to more of them. And you were like, do it. Like, you go, and that next day at work, I literally just listened to Motorhead on shuffle, like through the years, different albums, different tracks all day. And what I love about Motorhead the most personally, as a super big fan of both genres, I feel like they maybe more than just about any other band I can think of, seamlessly mesh together metal and punk at the same time. Like the backbeats and the rhythm, and it's a very traditional like punk foundation to Motorhead with a little bit of that metal flair and spirit. And so like I really love that about them.
Yeah, it's so many good deep cuts. I mean, a couple of Motorhead songs if you're a casual fan, Ace of Spades, a couple of them, and it's a solid song. But like you say, they just such a good representation, like you say, of just that grungy, dirty metal. And those guys were never looking to come out and be glamorous at all.
Right.
They started back in with God, I think it was 70s, late 70s. They started, same look, like you said. Let Me Kill Meister. It was he. If you want to pick like who represents metal he could probably be on your Mount Rushmore of artists or people, like you say, that just represented that lifestyle and the music and everything else here.
I mean, if you're looking at different categories and stages, you could almost call him like the Godfather of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's up there with like Ozzy, you know what I mean? Like
music.
He's one of the pillars, like as a musician or a person in the metal community goes. Yeah.
Right here to impress you. This is it. It's still one of the greatest live bands I ever saw. Right there, bam. One of the loudest too. Fucking blew my fucking eardrums out, but
nice.
Super good. I was so glad I got to see him live. So okay.
Oh yeah.
So are we
I'm
selling ourselves on Motorhead here? Okay.
I mean, the only one you never had to sell me, but yeah, that's Motorhead belongs up there as well. Yep.
So we putting Motorhead on the list?
Motorhead needs to be on the list.
And Iron Maiden?
And if you're signing off Iron Maiden, I think those were certainly the 2 bands that had double submissions. So I think without question they deserve to go.
Okay.
All right.
Does anybody have one that they're thinking based on the who's left? Who's left out there?
So we've got Huey Lewis in the News. We've got Weird Al, mine are Alice in Chains, Pantera still, and you've got Devo, and
that's it.
Oh no, you're okay. So right,
the 2 got picked.
You should throw away Devo because your other two already made it. So no,
Okay. Actually, let me go because
Go ahead.
you two both have what's left. Very solid, hard to argue artists
Mhm.
for this list.
Mhm.
I have the two that could be on the fence, but I need to stake my claim in Weird Al Yankovic here. Culturally, when you have been doing it, hell, since like Motorhead, since the late '70s, you've hit the Billboard Top 100 charts. I mean, it's a long fucking list here with fucking parody songs. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like what should have been a couple year career and on a couple tracks on a funny album, a compilation of funny albums along with and they call it the Streak.
Mhm.
Turns into a on tour in 2025. The touring that he did, the shows that he sold out across the country, the reverence that other artists pay to him, like, and again when I say this, I'm not putting him in the same category as Chuck Berry, but all of these like the Beatles and everybody would say that Chuck Berry was their inspiration. He inspired so many of these 60s and 70s 80s artists. And I'm not saying Weird Al inspired, but there's a reverence from the rest of his peers that similar to Chuck Berry. It's a rite of passage to have your song parodied by him, and that's not even to mention if Nick, you listen to the idea of going to listen to Motorhead and you spend a whole day doing it. I'm not telling you need to spend a whole day listening to Weird Al, but pull up some of his original songs. He's a good musician. He's a good writer, a performer. That's enough to be said there. He's just all around musically. He has been in the zeitgeist of music and pop culture for 40 plus years.
Yeah.
And he is now still going as strong as ever. And I think, and we make a pilgrimage. That's not
Pilgrimage.
a fucking. Thank you, Jesus. Not an easy word to say.
Pilgrimage.
To right to the Rock and Roll
It's
Hall of
Garfield
Fame.
Bridge. Sorry,
Plymouth
go ahead.
Ridge.
Garfield Bridge.
Yeah.
But we go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year, once a year, and I make it a point. There's the kiosk that you can vote for the next round of next year's inductees, and I will do it every single time. Vote for Weird Al because he deserves to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, I certainly would not argue the pop culture relevance. You know what I mean? And even though I'm familiar with Weird Al, like in general, people are. Amish Paradise and stuff like that, and Fat and all that stuff. Like I know those songs. That was going to be one of my questions. Is going to be like, does he do any original stuff? And I feel like
They're
you had said
fantastic
that in a past episode when we talked about him before. So I would like to check that out for sure. I do feel like, yeah, for pop, I'm not anti Weird Al. It's not my thing necessarily, and I feel like in some ways he almost gets a bad rap because it's like, well, yeah, he's famous for his parody songs that he's
Right.
ripping off, or people, crudely would say he's ripping off other songs, but he's not. He's using the tune. He's using a tune, but he's making something different. He's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's having fun with it and playing with it in a new way and making it about something funny, which I can definitely appreciate. Yeah, I definitely am not opposed to Weird Al. He's certainly not one of the first that would come to my mind personally, but yeah, like it's hard to argue. And like you said, the longevity that he's had, yeah, it's hard to argue with him and doing what he's done for so long. And yeah. So, and like, it's funny because like my kids are, like watch a lot of YouTube and they love like parodies of things and people online that just make parodies or songs about like a video game they like or whatever. But he's like the OG, like first one to really have real success with doing that. There's other people that do it, and comedians and stuff like that, but no one's on the scale of Weird Al, not even fucking close, you know?
Right.
I would give you Weird Al. I think it's one we maybe about to put to the side. We may not get a unanimous here, just not quite yet from Nick, per sounds like. But I think just from a lot of things you said, he's musically talented. He's not. There's no fucking voice track, I don't think, and he's certainly playing the accordion. You know, and that's not an easy instrument to play. You know, I'm sure. And like you say, it was just his influence in the music. The guys, you went on tour last year, still toured big venues. In our local area, he toured, as we know, Blossom. That's a venue that big acts still play now in this area, you know. So, so clearly he's still drawing in the crowd, and it's can't all be people Gen X or age or younger. I mean, he's obviously got some other fans out there too, or parents introducing, other people to. It's just fun. Yeah. And growing up in the MTV era, I mean, you looked forward to seeing the next Weird Al video because he would honor, he'd goof on a little bit, of course, but he would also honor the source material, the source video material in his own way also. If you watch the Eat It video against the Eat It video, Beat It, Michael Jackson, and the Eat It video, it is almost literally frame for frame, almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, it smells like Nirvana video.
Yeah,
it is right there alongside with the Smells Like Teen Spirit. That actually, Nick, you get a chance, listen to that album again. I don't know if you're actually going to, but Off the Deep End. It's the one with Smells Like Nirvana. As it, that was the single from it. But Off the Deep End, the album. I remember getting that cassette tape for Christmas, whatever year it came out, but I think it was in 1992. Yeah.
Okay.
But the whole album, some of the original songs on there are terrific. So
okay. All right, move it over. Nick, you want to make a pitch for one of your two? We got two so far.
Yeah.
Two of my list. Weird Al's 2 out of 3. Close. Go ahead. Nick.
We'll talk a little more, but and then so my of my list, Iron Maiden's the one I feel like deserves it the most, so I put them up first. But the one I feel the most passionate about on my list is Alice in Chains. It's the shirt that I'm wearing. Alice in Chains. So as a child growing up in the 90s and with the grunge scene and that music meaning so much to me, there again, where there were 4 massively successful bands from the Seattle scene that brought grunge, 90s alternative to the forefront in the 90s and made it so massively popular for such a short time. And that was Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, and Alice in Chains. Those other 3 are in as they all deserve to be. And I think they went in the right order for what they did. Common, not necessarily my favorite in that order, but Nirvana deserved to go first. Pearl Jam deserved to be the very next one. Soundgarden, absolutely third.
Just winning this past year.
The next step is obviously Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains, man, of those big 4, they're my second. Pearl Jam's always forever my number 1, but Alice in Chains is the second favorite. Fuck, I named my kid Lane for fuck's sake after Lane Staley. I adore Alice in Chains. Where do I begin? Alice in Chains sets itself apart from even those bands in a different way. They're certainly the heaviest of those 4 bands. They had more of a metal sound, I was going to say metal, but certainly a hard rock sound, way more prevalent than any of those 4 bands. Alice in Chains were definitely that sound. Lane Staley's voice is unmistakable, and his story is so tragic and sad. Obviously, struggled with addiction and eventually died of a heroin overdose in the early 2000s. Jerry Cantrell, who sang also, part-time vocals, but was the lead guitarist of Alice in Chains, probably wrote like 60 to 70% of their songs, and also great singer, but what an incredible songwriter. They burst onto the scene with Man in the Box. That was kind of the first big single. You could argue that maybe like something like Rooster may have been their, to this day, maybe still most played song. Every single album they put out, I think they put out 5 studio albums. Every single one has at least 3 commercial hits you've heard. So you've heard 15 Alice in Chains songs that you know. You may
Oh,
not
yeah.
know word for word, but you know them. You know, so Angry Chair, Wood, like it's such an extensive catalog. And one of my favorite things to do as a kid when I would get into a new band is if I found a couple songs that I liked, I'd buy their greatest hits. I'd listen to those. If I was digging all that, I'd start buying the albums one by one through the catalog. And I would, because one of my favorite things to do is find B-side tracks and things that you would never hear on the radio. And I want to know those songs. That makes me feel like I know this band more. Alice in Chains, probably, I mean, as far as impact on my life through their music, is a top 5 band of all time for me. So I feel the most passionately about Alice in Chains. I just feel like their contribution to the grunge scene and to the sound of the 90s in general is huge. Whether or not they make our collective Mount Rushmore, I don't know. They'll be in. They absolutely will. It's undeniable. Um, and so it will happen. They will get their place in there. But I adore Alice in Chains.
The
Anyone's
only
thoughts on Alice in Chains? How you guys feel about
the
them?
only argument I'm going to give you, Nick, you said it all quite well, but the only argument that I'm going to give you is your supposed order that they should have gone into the Rock Hall. If you're
Mhm.
talking about reverence and all that for each of those bands, I mean, up there with Soundgarden, like who should have gone in first?
Well,
I would support the argument that Alice in Chains should
Soundgarden.
have gone before Soundgarden.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know.
Yeah.
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 And
I
by God,
only
I
I
love Soundgarden.
I was gonna say so do I, and I'm not
But if you're
discrediting any of
talking
these
about
bands.
if you're talking about, like you said, the amount of just random people that would know their songs compared to Soundgarden,
Sure.
that
I always felt
alone,
Soundgarden deserved it because they were the first of all those bands. They were
sure,
literally the
absolutely,
one that started before any of them.
right,
They actually were to thank to get some of those bands together. I don't know that there would be a Nirvana or a Pearl Jam without Soundgarden.
sure.
But that's why I say that. But I prefer Alice in Chains to Soundgarden personally. But
I mean,
both incredible.
I prefer Soundgarden over Alice in Chains, but I'm just talking about who probably should have been in first. But I mean, like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, obviously,
just because
are
with them they were the main two of that.
They were the
represent
90s.
they were the torch. They were the flag carriers of grunge
Right.
to people. They were the main two ones. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think we have our third band.
I think we do.
I'll give you Alice in Chains. I mean,
Okay.
you think back to that era is when that new '90s music was coming out here. Of course, then I'm fan of the old classics and the hair metal, all that stuff. But I remember hearing them and Soundgarden like for the first time, just like, what the fuck is this? But you know what? This is different. This is fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
Good. These guys are just doing their thing. It just was different, hard, like you say, musically, lyrically, just good stuff. I'd never complained about having Alice in Chains on. So great stuff. Like I say, tragic. They couldn't have. Now again, they've made some good music with the new singer. I mean, all that stuff.
William Duvall is a great singer, and they continue to tour and make new albums with him, and they're great. But there's that, there's a connection to the original voice for so much of those, hits that everyone knows and loves.
Like you said, that whole all those bands, like you said, they just have to go in. They have to go in at that representation of the Seattle grunge and the whole new wave of sound, a different type of music. Yeah, they got to be in there. So that's 3.
That's 3.
All right, I like it.
Okay. Brian, do you have an argument for your last one?
Hey, I want to talk about Devo. I want a little more
talk about Devo for a minute.
I want to hear a little more about Devo.
Yeah. So again, you as a casual fan, you might I don't really know a whole lot of their stuff necessarily. They got the goofy costumes, that type of thing. But you got to remember. And again, Devo is one too, guys. I need to listen to more of their old stuff too. And when I listened, Allie and I went to see him in concert this last year, as you may remember. Again, one of the best shows we've seen also live. Sounded great. And those guys, some of their old songs is very punk. If you listen
Yeah,
to some of their early stuff, you would not even realize it's fucking Devo with the goofy hats and all that. But they started as a band out of Kent State as they were sort of an answer to the Kent State shootings. That was they were kind of mocking society. That was the whole thing. Devo stands for de-evolution, the de-evolution of man. So it's their whole theme, and
I did
so
not
many
know
of their songs is just making fun of the human race and just how we continue to go backwards in many respects. So a lot of their music and songs and everything is just built around that theme. So you got to kind of understand that and keep that in perspective as well. Very early influencer of that type of music. They're one of the first bands that did and one of the only few bands, I should say, and one of the first that kind of blended that electro type music, electronic music with a punk theme. And again, those guys were good. If lyrically, I mean, was Mark Mothersbaugh the best singer in the world? No, but he wasn't trying to be either, right?
Yeah.
So to me, it's just what they represented as far as their statement on the humans in general and the human race.
Yeah.
They're musically talented, lyrically talented, just a lot of fun to see, and also as a influencer in that type of music, they definitely were. And in the MTV era, they had some of the funnest videos also.
Mhm.
But again, they were never meant to. They were never trying to let people take them too serious. Like their whole gimmick and everything was never meant to be that. So they had 4 gold
Everybody
records.
knows Whip It. I mean, Whip It's
That's
like
right.
the one, right?
Right.
That's it. And they've also been nominated 3 times, 2019, 21, and 22, and this haven't quite got over the edge. So I think of everything they mean to the world of music in many respects, put them in.
Yeah.
That's my argument.
I can honestly, I saw Devo today, and they were one that when I saw the name, actually I can say that, and even like Weird Al, Huey Lewis in the News, every single artist that we have all brought up as I was scrolling through different lists, every single one of them, I went, really? I mean, some of like I knew Iron Maiden wasn't, and stuff like,
Right.
but every single one that we've talked about, I was like, I took note mentally that I'm like, really? Every single one of them. So even though I'm not as familiar with Dio, I mean, I'm familiar with them and who they are and kind of some of the stuff you mentioned, but then I learned a lot just there from you and how you're kind of like laying it out. But I've always respected what they do, and I've always respected kind of the art to what they do. They were on I love weird shit. I just love like people that do weird shit and express themselves in weird ways, and if it makes some type of like basic human level like connection with you that you're just like, I kind of like see them, like I get what they're, you know what I mean? Like they were on the at big SNL 50, like the concert thing they put on, and they performed.
Satisfaction.
And we're watching it, and me and Robin may have been having some jazz cabbage, and she was like, "This is making me feel higher than I." She's like, "What the fuck is this? Is so weird." And I like it. That's how that type of stuff kind of hits her,
Yeah.
But and I was like, "It's fun. I don't even want to say goofy because that almost makes it sound cheaper, but like it was fun. But they like I knew a little bit about the band anyway, and there's a lot of messaging behind their music and statements to be made, and I respect the hell out of that. So, Devo is definitely a serious contender for sure.
Yeah, they are they're everything Brian said they were, right? I don't know if if I'm fully on board yet with Devo. I know that they're going to get in, and I hope that they do it before it becomes when they could all get on stage and accept the award.
Some have already passed on, so hopefully you do it before like Mark or somebody else passes away.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I enjoy their stuff. I've never been the biggest fan, but they were, like that Whip It video. They were very influential in that era. For me, I'm talking about for MTV. You saw the weirdness and it wasn't in my like, you know, area, right? But like I knew it, I didn't know why I liked it, but I know I did. And then the older you get, you understand, you know, why you did. You know, it wasn't just like the weird hats or the weird 70s looking video. It was because they were fucking musically talented. You know, maybe you just can't put your finger on that as a child. But again, do I pick them over some of the other ones? I don't know. I'm not quite sold on that yet, but I do agree they will make it in someday.
All right.
Okay.
Put them aside then. So we got 3 so far, 2 more to go.
Yeah,
Dean, do you
2
want to
spots to
make a
go.
case for Huey Lewis, or you want
Huey
to
Lewis.
leave it? Go ahead.
You know what?
And the news. Don't forget the
in
news.
the news. if you look at pop culture, you know, in the 1980s, hell,
They
Sport,
embody it.
the album Sport might
Sports.
be
Sports.
the fucking Sports might be
Yeah.
the
Good
soundtrack
album.
to that, right?
Good album.
Just I mean, look at the amount of singles and songs they've done, from Power of Love, This Is It. I mean, it goes on and on. Huey Lewis was what mainstream pop culture, right?
Sure.
I mean you know, they weren't, you know, the divos or whatnot. They weren't, you know, they weren't the grungiest and they have their niche fans. No, just everybody. Moms loved them, and teenagers loved them.
Feel good music.
Yeah, it was the good, wholesome rock of the 80s, I would say. Right? Is that a decent way to put it, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're fun band. Enjoyed them. Fun videos.
Yeah.
One of the best movie songs of all time. Power of Love, in my opinion, no
Yep.
question. You know, but for me, I can't say they're over Devo or Pantera or Weird Al. That's my opinion there. So I will not vote them over the remaining bands that we have.
Okay. That's
Personally,
fair.
but again, one of my favorite bands of the 80s, no question.
Yep.
And the horns and everything were very unique.
Yeah, you
It was
didn't
all
have
very
that in the
good.
rest. Right.
Very, very good stuff, but just not at that same level for me.
That's fair.
Yep.
Nick,
go ahead.
I second what you said about Huey Lewis and the News right there. That's based on what's there. I don't know that I would pick them over some of the ones that are in there. But that being said, I enjoy the hell out of Huey Lewis and the News. And so I mean, like you said, you described it perfectly. They kind of, you know, they in many ways are a reflection of what you think of like prototypical like 80s pop culture at that time, and they are very much a soundtrack of that time. And I love the sound of the music. I love his voice. I mean, like they're just, it's great. Like it's, you know what I mean? You're never gonna have a bad Huey Lewis and the News is almost like one of those, like, for me personally, that I'm like, one of those, it's hard to like be in a bad mood while it's on. Like it kind of makes you want to pop to it. Like it's like, it's just like, yeah, you know, like
I'm having a bad day.
music.
It's hit the B square. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
You
in
to
as
be
bad
a
a mood all of
grumpy
a
guy
sudden.
when that shit kicks on? No, you're not. You can't be. It's impossible.
But I mean, with you guys, with your guys' argument, I do agree with you. Your guys' the rest of your things, you know, your choices are stronger. So I am totally fine at this point of we're going to push Huey Lewis, you know, back off to the other side. So
no disrespect to Huey Lewis.
No disrespect.
Yeah. So we go from Huey Lewis in the News. My final submission to talk about is Pantera. For me, it was kind of there again. I'm like, I don't ever recall. I've been a Pantera fan for a very long time, and I don't ever recall seeing them get inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I'm like, yeah, I guess so. You know, I guess they're not. But I'm like, why aren't they by now? Is kind of my thing with Pantera, right? And the reason is certainly they are, in my opinion, they have reached this interesting point to where they were always, I mean, heavy. And I mean, when I say metal, I'm not talking like glam metal, hair metal, or like what 80s call like heavy metal. Like I'm talking like in your face,
Mhm.
like beat the shit out of you, aggressive, pure fucking anger metal. Like they were
Yeah.
metal as I think of it. And they were that metal, but the only band that I can think of, like Slayer is metal and heavy and dark and, evil and whatever, all that, stuff that you think of, I guess, kind of those stereotypes. Slayer is like metal like that, and certainly had songs that people heard and are, popular in certain circles. Pantera has songs that reached a different level of success that got radio play. That you
Yeah.
know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
and Pantera also, I mean, especially like they had some softer songs too, like "This Love"
Cemetery
that was on
Gates.
Far Beyond Drift, "Cemetery Gates" that was on Cowboys from Hell. Um, Philip Anselmo in the early days, he didn't do it so much later, but when they started out, and they kind of started out as a little bit more of a glam centric band and their like earlier stuff before they got a record deal, and then kind of switched over to that heavier style. And certainly on the first album, Cowboys from Hell, you hear Anselmo hit those kind of higher notes and do some of that reminiscent of like 80s, hair metal kind of stuff. But they almost did the opposite. You know how some bands start out real heavy, real to their roots, real not mainstream, and then they slowly kind of, well, we
Hmm.
want to experiment, do different stuff, and then they end up kind of forming to a little bit what is more socially the social norm kind of thing. They did the opposite, but still, and somehow made that successful. They continued to keep finding success because of what they were doing, and those hardcore fans, they were speaking to a whole different community that maybe wasn't being served in a mainstream way. And
Yeah.
I think they probably got a lot of people into heavier music than they knew they'd ever like. And Walk is an
Mm.
anthem. It's just a fucking anthem. Everyone knows Walk. Even if you don't know all the words, it's playing, you're at a concert, and it kicks on in between bands, or you hear on the radio, everyone knows it. Respect, Walk. Like it's just, and I didn't even touch on that yet. Fucking Dimebag Darrell is
Uh,
a true guitar legend and hero. Rest in peace, Dime. And he is one of the, I mean, so many people are playing the guitar and are killer guitar players in their own right to this day because of him. His brother, Vinnie Paul, was no slouch on the drum kit behind him either. Like all incredible. Rex Brown, amazing on the bass. Just all did what they did so damn well. And a lot of times, heavier music doesn't really get, if you're not into that kind of stuff, it doesn't get the proper appreciation for how good of musicians they all are. Um, but yeah, Pantera just they're one that, like, yes, I understand that they haven't been up to this point, but it's time now. It's definitely time now. They deserve it, and they are certainly in the pantheon. They are, when I was talking about Iron Maiden, my personal big four. Pantera's in my big four for metal, like all time. And they, like I said, they just kind of ushered in the modern era of like what heavy music sounds like, I feel like, to a lot of people. So that's why I put them on my list. Um, so yeah, thoughts, Pantera fans, anyone?
I'm definitely a fan. They had that influence on me back then, Nick. So that was new band at the time. And again, Cemetery Gates, I'm like, that's just cool and different.
Mm-hmm.
It was very still 80s ish sounding type
Yeah.
song, very
Yep.
cool, like metal church
Yep.
type of thing. But then some of the other stuff came out. It's just like, man, these guys are it. Like you said, it wasn't Slayer heavy, but still heavy enough to where and that's what they did. That was the rest of their. That was it. Like you said, that was the rest of their music. Musically, I mean, the guy's vocals was okay. It was more the growly
Yeah.
type vocal is
Sure.
fine. But again, musically, you couldn't argue the fact, and it's really hard to argue that you heard a Pantera, and so it's hard not to get pumped up.
Yeah.
Whatever you were doing, whatever you wanted to do, it got you pumped up and excited, and whatever you were doing, if you wanted to, whatever the fuck you want to do, clean the goddamn house, you were just like, yeah,
I'm good at those
you know.
fucking gutters today. God damn it. Let's go.
I mean, to me, it's like they definitely were influenced by others. I mean, it's were they super influential? I'm not sure about that, but again, you really can't argue with their musical talent. And again, like you said, Dimebag Darrell, one of the greatest hard rock guitarists that another one that's lived, and it's really shame about him. So I'm sure they're definitely negatively impacted by being cut short of losing him and having some changes in the band and that type of thing, and hard to maintain and so forth. But
I mean, that band never I mean, there was when they split, it was ugly and hard feelings, and they just never, they kind of split off. But yeah.
But just a solid band, and really, you could say they were definitely they did pick up the torch of metal music in the early 2000s and definitely helped carry it, as hard as it was back then to do that, carry it through the mid 2000s range and beyond a little bit anyway. Kind of one of the last bands in that CD era, if that makes sense, in the metal world, maybe before streaming and everything.
I never heard that used, but it does make sense.
Yeah. So when I put them in the Hall of Fame over some of the others, I'm not sure. I might need to put them aside for a second for me to revisit a little bit, but they're a very strong contender for me from our submissions.
Yep.
Dean, any thoughts?
No, I don't know a whole lot about Pantera than what mainstream's out there. But what I have heard of them, I've always enjoyed. Like you said about Walk, who doesn't know that song, and who doesn't hear anything, even if you don't know, oh, that's particularly a Pantera song. Like Brian said, you're getting pumped. They're a fun band. They're because of Dimebag Darrell, the influence that he had in the band in general. But I'm there with I'm there with Brian. I don't know if over some of the other ones I would go with them. So, but again, I am a fan.
Well, I'm ready to make my. We've got 3 spots filled and 2 to fill. I'm ready to tell you which 2 I think I would pick.
Go ahead.
Would be so of what we talked about. One is going to be. I'm going to endorse Weird Al Yankovic because of the pop culture influence and the effect. And my other one was all cut and dry, and I'm real close. I kind of is not to get. I'm not sitting here sniffing my own farts, but I almost kind of talked myself back into Pantera being the other pick. Just because I'm like, once I started talking about it and thinking about it, I'm like, yeah. But I think I would give my other pick to Devo. I think Devo, Pantera to me, I think if I was on the committee, and as much as I love Pantera, and let's say we're the committee, Pantera is getting in next year. You know what I mean? Like, it's like with this class and what's being brought to the table, I'm going to give it to Weird Al because of the pop culture influence, and I'm going to get to Devo because of how artistic they are and what they stand, how long they've been doing it. And also, there's something to be, Devo's been at this for so long, and I shouldn't be having to pick Devo over Pantera right now because Devo should have already been in. So I personally am going to finally lock in my 2 submissions for the last 2 spots. Personally, would be for Weird Al and Devo.
Very good, Brian.
I'm going with the exact same thing. I mean, as far as I like Pantera a lot, can't argue with the talent. I can't pick them or Huey Lewis over the longer and larger influences on Weird Al in general and the music industry. And the fact that, again, he's still touring big venues today. And again, just the overall influence of being really an early pioneer of a style of music and image in Devo. You have to honor that as well. Plus the fact that it's simply just good. It's good music, right? So I'm sticking with those 2 as well for my other 2.
Okay.
Well, there's not a lot I can say that you both didn't just say, so we're going to admit it because we're all 3 in agreement in this last one, Weird Al and Devo. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me read off to you our top 5, our newest class. What?
I'm sorry. You got it. The official Convincing Idiots.
Here we go.
Class of 2026.
Yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Right?
You know what? Not many people would argue this list. I guarantee if we said that we were going to, this is going to be this is going to be part of the class of this year, I don't think you get many arguments, to be honest.
We have Motorhead, Iron Maiden, Alice in Chains, Weird Al Yankovic, and Devo.
Congratulations, everyone, on
that's
your
a hell of a list.
magnificent achievement.
Now,
Excellent.
I
real
bet,
quick,
I truly bet, and I can say this from the bottom of my heart, I truly bet none of those bands ever thought that they'd see the day that they were on the Convincing Idiots
right?
No,
Rock and Roll Hall of
guarantee
Fame
that.
submission.
Very
I
surprised.
guarantee that.
None of them's ever fathomed it in their wildest dreams.
Nope.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good.
what the fuck is that? Like, what?
Now, real quick, off the top of your head, don't have to put much thought into it, but going around here, who's headlining this class? Brian?
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Okay.
I second that. They are the one for me. It's Iron Maiden. Yeah.
Okay. I just given that I hope it's the year that the induction comes back to Cleveland, right? Because every other year it's in Cleveland. It would just be fun to have the hometown boys headline it, and I'm going to go
Sure.
Devo.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be great.
Cool.
Yeah, so I'm going because of hometown. I'm going Devo.
They would, in reality, they would because of the local probably history and everything like that. But yeah,
Very
who
cool.
should headline would be Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. The correct answer is Iron Maiden. Yeah. I would. Yeah.
I don't know.
I
If he was alive, I'd go Motorhead. I mean, come on.
That would be
a fucking.
would
First
just-
of all, you know how at the end of the
I would give it
Rock
to
Hall,
Iron
like
Maiden, yeah.
everybody gets on stage and like all the bands play together.
Yeah.
Out of those 5, how fucking awesome would, given if everybody was alive,
Yeah.
how awesome would that final song jam session, whatever you want to
Special
call
appearances. You bring Ozzy back out. That song that Motorhead does with Ozzy and Motorhead do that song.
Hellraiser.
Yeah, Hellraiser. Yeah, that's it.
Be crazy.
Okay.
Man.
But yeah, how do you like that? Our first time doing this format, and we all basically we all ended up on the same unanimous page. So
Yeah, we sure did.
Yep. We've done
Perfect. We did.
Good deal, gents. All right. Well, we've done it here, and now it's your turn to do your part. Maybe go listen, Kieran. It's your turn to do your part. Maybe go listen to some of these cool bands that we laid out for you this evening, and then after you're done doing that, go over and find us on all of our social media accounts. Tell us how much you either agreed or disagreed with our picks. We'd love to hear about it, or maybe of all 9 bands that we brought to the table, maybe you've got some other artists that we were completely asleep on. So let us know about it. Drop us an email. There's a link to that as well in our link tree. Go find us on social media. Rate us on everything that you can. It really helps us out. You can find that stuff by going to Google and typing in Convincing Idiots Linktree to find all of those links, as well as a link to the merch store and where to subscribe so you don't miss another episode of Convincing Idiots. We've also got our website to access as well, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So for episode 275 of Convincing Idiots, I am your millennial, Nick.
I'm the Sennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
Have we convinced you that you've been a beautiful crowd tonight? Thank you very much. Good night.
Oh. Did you just see that shit? If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Come back. You're going to want to.
Ham grape.
So Saturday, I think we're going to go pick up a cat.
Yep. If you don't call that cat President Garfield, I would be upset. Garfield
You should name him Garfield Cleveland.
President Garfield Cleveland.
I wonder if they'd let me change the name.
Who's they?
Oh, Megan.
The cat, you think the cat's not
Oh,
going to know who
okay.
to answer to? It's the fucking cat. Oh. Cat's like, I'll play that funny name bullshit.
Its
My
name
name's
so far
Hector,
is
and that's how we gonna call me,
Jinx.
all right?
But President Garfield Cleveland is a fantastic name.
Yep.
I said my name's Jinx. I meant Jinx. No, it's not. President Garfield Cleveland, motherfucker.
Oh, wee.